Hi, I'm Shannon Cyr, and I'm the relationship coach for men. Um, Today, I kind of wanted to talk about getting your needs met or not getting your needs met, I guess I should say. And there was a quote that said that, you don't get to tell people how to love you. You get to choose if you want to participate in the way that they love. And so I think that's huge, right? Because that says a lot about getting our needs met, right? That we get to choose. And so I want to talk about getting your needs met inside your marriage. We've all been in relationships where our needs aren't being met, and of course that can be really frustrating. Usually we can't understand just why it's so difficult. We want simple things like maybe we want attention or affection or connection or conversation. Maybe we want to be appreciated for all the things that we do, or we want to feel attractive and desired, by our partner. We all deserve to give our relationships our very best and for that to be considered a gift, from our partners. But where it usually doesn't quite work out or kind of goes wrong is when we have kind of our list of needs, and we set out on a mission to change our partner into being the person that's going to kind of go through and check off those boxes for us, one by one, and kind of show up for all those line items. So maybe we tell them what we want, and when they can't or won't meet our needs, then we tell them again, and maybe again, and maybe we tell them a few more times, right? And so typically our partner really feels like we're complaining. They feel like they just don't know how to give us what we want, and they feel like they just can't make us happy, right? And so what does that look like? Maybe they think, all right, there's got to be a way for me to meet this checklist, and so maybe they give us a few more hugs, or they try to have more conversations with us. Maybe they make some changes to the things that we've listed out, and that kind of maybe it lasts for a few days, maybe even a few weeks or a few months, right? But eventually it kind of just starts to slide back to how it was. So she kind of goes back to who she really is and how she really loves, right? Why? Basically just because that's really who she is, and that's really how she loves, right? So it isn't that it's being done on purpose, but that really is how that person is showing us love. And maybe that isn't really the way that we prefer that, right? But maybe we don't like the answer that we see, so we kind of stay in this like circular struggle of feeling like our needs aren't being met, not seeing any change, and then still feeling frustrated, right? So I'm not trying to say that that your spouse can't change the way that they engage in the relationship, because they can. With the right help and the right support, that can be done. But they're not going to suddenly just wake up one day and do it differently because you ask them to. People can evolve and change, but they're not here on the planet in order to meet our needs. She's not here to meet your needs. Really, neither is anyone else, right? And so your job isn't to convince or nag or attempt to control others into being who you need them to be. Your job is to understand and meet your own needs. Really love others for where they are and who they are, and tell the truth to yourself about what's really possible in the relationship and not possible in the relationship, right? You don't really get to, force your spouse into being who you really want them to be so you can get your needs met. You do get to choose, though, what works for you and what doesn't. So you get to choose whether that relationship is really in line with what you need in your life and what you want to create in your life, right? So I have a client, that's been married for about 10 years now. He's been wanting affection and more connection in his marriage, but just can't really seem to get there. And so this isn't what they really had throughout the course of the marriage. It isn't what they had at the beginning. It's really just not something that they've ever done. And so, now he's trying to tell his wife what he really wants and needs. And within the marriage, you know, so he feels happy, right? That's kind of his description. And so he's been trying to say these things and trying to tell her what he wants and needs. And she just isn't able to give those to him. You know, that wasn't really the implied agreement between them when they got together. And she really doesn't know how to connect in this way that he wants her to. So she tries to give him what she needs, but she truthfully just doesn't have that to give. So she's not a bad person. She isn't a bad wife. She's not any of those things at all, right? They're just kind of in this place of being a couple that want very different things inside of the marriage. You know, she's happy and fulfilled with things how they are and how they've always been. And he's truly wanting more and really needing to feel more connected at this point in his life, right? So, you know, since we've been working together, he's learned to really see her for who she is and to stop trying to, you know, contort her into something else, right? He sees and appreciates her for who she is and also who she isn't. You know, he's kind of had to face some really difficult truths and accept that they don't want and need the same kind of relationship to feel fulfilled. He's also had to face the reality that he really doesn't want to be in a disconnected relationship any longer. And, you know, has since made the very difficult and painful decision that he can't remain in the marriage, right? So, but throughout that process, you know, he was able to discover what he really does need. And if the relationship that he's in can be that. So, you know, I hope this spoke to you or gave you some new insight. And if so, you know, please subscribe to the channel to be notified every time I post a new video. If you're ready to take this further for yourself and find out how you can set yourself up better to get your needs met, I invite you to schedule a complimentary exploratory session with me to see if there's a fit for us to work together. All my best.